Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Hello, Atma Vandan, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. A very warm welcome to you all, and thank you for kindly joining us today. Today we're going to be reading a chapter from the book called The Compassionate Buddha by the very learned Anandamurti Guru Ma. We're on chapter 12. After the chapter, we'll have a short meditation as well. Chapter 12, page 105, entitled, I Do, Yet I Don't. My beloved master played the flute of wisdom. These stirring notes paved way to my freedom. The moment love happened to me, my heart connected through a string of love without any efforts. I got a new lease of life, became one with my master, without any weighing or measure. What an inestimable treasure. Now only joy prevails, because my heart has finally anchored its sails. Every cell in my being radiates with the colour of love, for truly I have found the one for whom I yearned. The sentiments expressed in this ode can be readily appreciated by the one who has actually experienced its essence. The need for endeavour arises only when something is not occurring naturally. No effort is needed when things happen naturally, freely as a matter of course. For example, if someone sits to meditate, but his heart is bereft of love, devoid of devotion, then he will have to strive to sit still, and it will require a lot of effort. On the contrary, If there is inner stillness and power of discrimination, then he will be able to sit effortlessly. Similarly, when the heart gets connected through the cord of love, union with the Lord happens effortlessly. Then there is no question of having to exert or strive to attain. The union happens easily of its own accord. The sentiments in the above ode were echoed by Rumi, a Sufi mystic, as well, the only difference being that he didn't talk about any guru, master. Rumi had said, "He who has been chosen by the Lord, he alone can walk on this path." It is indeed true that the one who is chosen by the Lord, he alone treads the path of spirituality, which eventually culminates in self-realization. And guidance of a guru is absolutely invaluable on this path. Although Buddha and Mahavira attained enlightenment without the master, but it is equally true that not everyone has that caliber. Hence, the importance of the guiding hand of a master is indispensable. A master's guidance is imperative, and in the absence of this guidance, the journey will not even commence, let alone reach fruition. Even the thought of walking on this path will not occur, let alone actually treading this path. The Lord chooses you. Sometimes people misinterpret this statement. I have received a question in this regard, wherein the questioner says, if everything is happening according to God's will, if attending a satsang is also His will, then isn't the same applicable to people who frequent liquor bars and prostitutes and those who are cruel, egoistic and corrupt? Isn't that also a part of God's will? The questioner has also mentioned that a long list of sins flashes across my eyes when I attempt to meditate. I would like to focus my attention on you, but you have said not to do so. So what should I do in this situation? Please forgive me if I have erred, as I am but a fool, a sinner. First of all, I would like to say to the questioner, why are you regarding yourself a fool? A fool wouldn't even think of asking any question. That is why he is a fool. For him, ignorance is bliss. He has no questions and seeks no answers. The one who perceives some inadequacy, but nevertheless wants to grow, wants to evolve, such a person alone questions, he alone seeks. The fact that someone is questioning indicates that he is thinking, contemplating. I believe that there are two types of people who never question. The enlightened one has no questions, for he has understood all that he wanted to, and he has attained all that he was seeking. And the other is a fool who never questions because he has no desire to know anything. Hence, the one who is in the middle, i.e., who is neither enlightened and nor a fool, he alone has questions. So don't regard yourself a fool. The questioner has asked that if everything is happening as per God's will, then the same holds true for all those who do illicit things, like going to brothels, drinking liquor. Why punish them? And if punishment is due, then punish the God who took them to those places. See, all that I have been saying so far is in context of the spiritual plane. You need to understand this clearly. Man's existence is at several different levels, and I am addressing the spiritual realm. There are various facets to a human being. There is one aspect of you that deals with your family, your relatives. The second level is your profession, your job, your livelihood. And the third is the societal plane, which includes your neighbourhood, your city, your state, and your nation. Then there is the religious plane. Your religious allegiance is influenced by the family you were born in and its religious beliefs. So if you're born in a Sikh family, excuse me, Sikhism becomes your religion. If one is born in a Hindu family, Hinduism becomes the religion, so on and so forth. Now, someone frequenting a brothel or a bar, this refers to the societal plane of existence. Although one is shaped by the diverse influences in one's life like family, society, nation, education, religion, etc., but each one of us has also been endowed with a mind and an intellect. And different people have different intellectual abilities. However, everyone regards themselves as highly intelligent, and hence they regard the decision taken by their intellect as the right one. You ask someone who visits a brothel if he thinks he's doing anything wrong. He will not accept it. You only have to mention the ills of liquor to an alcoholic and he will squash your disparaging attitude immediately and will extol the virtues of alcohol, singing its praises to no limit. Moreover, he may brand you as a fool who visits gurus and attends satsangs. Whatever a man does or chooses to do is a reflection of his own thinking and the influence of his family and the society at large. The statement, Lord chooses you, specifically refers to the spiritual level and not the one related to your family or society and not even the nation. See, when the entire nation was being swept by the wave of freedom, Swami Ramtirtha was singing Har Har Om. Some of you may not find it palatable to know that Swami Vivekananda was accused by some people that he did not say anything against the Britishers when the entire country was rebelling against them. Although he did show his patriotism when he was abroad, but he didn't participate in any rebellion. Moreover, he was also accused of taking aid from the kings who themselves were helping the Britishers. The point to note, however, is that the likes of Swami Vivekananda or Ramakrishna Paramahans belonged to such an extraordinary league that if they would have been told of any danger to their country, their reply would have been, "What country? Where is the division in this world? The entire world is mine." For a sage, there is no concept of mine and not mine. When the entire world is my Lord's offspring, when the entire creation belongs to him, then who am I to divide his creation by sketching artificial borders between countries? As I was saying earlier, brothels, bars, virtues, vices, these actions are a consequence of one's choice made at an intellectual level. God has bestowed us with intellect, but how one uses the intellect, he has left that on us to decide. Don't you think that human beings should have this right, this freedom of exercising choice? Otherwise, what will be the difference between humans and the animals? The language of virtues and vices is applicable only to human beings. These are irrelevant to animals. Human intellect alone has the capacity to grasp the existence of God. An animal's life is pretty much running at a very basic level of existence, eating, procreating, and eventually dying, and that's about it. But man has the freedom of choice. He can do whatever he wants, whatever he chooses. Bear in mind that I'm talking about the plane of spirituality, and it is at this very plane that I had said earlier, the one who is chosen by the Lord, he alone treads the path of spirituality. You ask if he has chosen you. Well, the truth is that he has chosen everyone, but as long as you don't turn towards him, how will you even perceive that you are the chosen one? Once a burglar got caught and was produced in front of the magistrate. Now he too had the misguided belief, the half-baked knowledge that God is the perpetrator of all that happens. The magistrate asked him, "Did you commit the robbery?" The thief replied, "Yes, but how can you punish me when it was God who made me do this?" The thief said. Whatever happens, happens due to the higher will. Human being has no role to play in it, so just stay still. The creator of this world himself is the doer of deeds. Thus man has nothing to do with what unfolds, what happens. It is he, the Supreme, who takes on different roles through human beings. Now the magistrate was a sensible person who had heard me on this topic. He sentenced the thief to 2 years of imprisonment. The thief kept on protesting, futilely, saying that it was God who was the motivator and his hands had merely carried out as the act as per God's will. The argument that a person doing illicit activities is doing so as per God's will is a deluded statement. God has empowered man by giving him the intellect, but it's up to the individual to use that intellect in making choices, right or wrong. After all, that is what makes us different from the animals. Can they exercise free will and make informed decisions as to what is a sin and what is a virtue? With restless demeanour, wrong deeds you perform, you sleep away the night in sloth and slumber, when it is time to meditate. One does not leave any stone unturned. When one wants to do something that is immoral or dishonest, a sense of hurry and restlessness takes over human mind when it has to do something sinful. But when it is time to sit in the remembrance and slumber seizes the same mind, which a minute ago, while performing misdeeds, was full of excitement and hurry. It is nothing but hypocrisy to blame the Lord for one's untoward choices. One doesn't think twice before committing nefarious acts, but when it comes to virtuous deeds like getting up early and chanting the Lord's name, then the mind is quick to justify one's lack of interest by blaming the Lord, saying it is not his will. What a blatant hypocrisy and dishonesty of the human mind. Beware of mind's dishonesty. Question. I did the experiment related to breathing as per your instructions. Yesterday my breath count was 13 per minute. At the end of the evening session it was 9 per minute. And just now when I counted it was 12 per minute. I can understand slowing down of the breath by being in the ashram premises, but when there is variation in the breath count, even when I'm at the ashram, how will I regulate my breathing when I return to the hustle and bustle of living in a city? Please guide. See, I had said that when you are meditating, at that time, your breathing should be slow and deep. But I have never advised you to stop carrying out your day-to-day activities. It is but natural that your breathing will change depending on the type of activity you are carrying out. Moreover, I have never said that the breath count should be 9 or 12 or XYZ, even whilst working. When you sit for meditation, at that time, your breathing should be slow and deep, but at other times, let the breathing be natural. If you run, but of course, your breathing will become faster. If I say to you, run and turn off that water tap and come back, and in response you say, Guruji, if I go running, my breathing will get faster. Hence, I can't do it. So please ask something else. Is that sensible? Breathing will become faster when you're performing any action, be it working, attending school, college, etc. It is not right to control breathing or regulate the breath count. Control is never right. Awareness is always right. There is a student in the audience who said to me that he doesn't want to continue with his studies as he doesn't get time to meditate. I told him to organise time for both. Whilst meditating, forget about studies, and whilst studying, forget about meditation. Where is the problem in accomplishing both? The chosen one alone will tread this inner journey. Otherwise, even the thought of spiritual pursuit will not enter one's mind. And it is a myth that one cannot tread the spiritual path if one has worldly responsibilities. It is certainly possible to do so. One can set aside a specific time every day for spiritual practices. Many people tell me that they don't feel like going to work and want to come and stay here at the ashram. Well, all of you come here to the ashram and I will leave, but I can't bear the expenses of nurturing so many people. Joke apart, if everyone starts thinking this way, the entire societal structure will collapse. For who will remain to work? That is why I keep reiterating that by all means, become a sadhu, but don't run away from your responsibilities. Whatever work you do it with complete dedication. The money you earn will not only enable you to look after your family, in fact, then you may be in a position to provide aid for spiritual causes as well. I have observed that only the highest league of disciple meditates and contemplates for 24 hours a day. On the other hand, I have also seen so-called sadhus who squander their time in gossiping, smoking marijuana, and the moneyed ones get stuck in buying and acquiring land after land, building one property after another. What is the point in becoming such a sham, bogus sadhu? Instead, live in a householder's life with the attributes of a sadhu. You have the example of all the 10 gurus who were householders, and so was Kabir. Guru Vasishta, too, is exemplary. He lived with his beautiful, wise, and intelligent wife, Arundhati. Guru Vasishta was responsible for looking after the education of his disciples, whereas Arundhati looked after the disciples' food requirements and their sleeping arrangements. Vasishta was Sri Ram's guru. Sri Ram and his brothers were princes who were so lovingly looked after by not only one, but 3 mothers. They were used to their mothers putting them to sleep, singing tender lullabies, and showering loving caresses. When it was time for the princes to move to the Guru's ashram for their education, the queens wept, saying who would look after their darling children. But Devi Arundhati assured them readily, saying, but that she would provide such loving care that the princes would not miss their mothers at all. I have seen a married couple who cooperate with each other perfectly and are successfully balancing their family obligations whilst also performing their spiritual practices. They are raising their children so very well, getting them too involved in the spiritual practices. An ideal household indeed. Won't such a household become heaven on earth? And all of you can transform your own homes into paradise on this earth. It is entirely up to you. To summarize, at the time of meditation, it is necessary to observe your breath, to make it slow and deep. But at other times, don't be obsessed with counting or controlling your breathing. As I have already elucidated before in the technique of Anapanasati Yoga, you remain aware of the natural flow of incoming and outgoing breath. Just watching your natural breathing with awareness, this is enough. Gradually, you start becoming aware of your mind, and under this watchful gaze, the mind begins to quieten, and then there is a lesser possibility of mistakes. Question: when I sit in meditation and the stream of thoughts starts reducing, I get a thought. I am becoming thoughtless. How can I be thoughtless when I have this thought? You are right. As long as your mind harbours any thought, even if it is I am thoughtless, that is not a state of thoughtlessness. The mind has quietened down and it is a good feeling, but not a state of thoughtlessness. Fact is that when thoughtlessness occurs, the mind and intellect are stilled. Hence, who will know the thoughtlessness has happened? All day-to-day activities are happening under the instructions of the intellect, whether it is seeing, listening, speaking, walking, whatsoever. There is a hierarchical connection between our body, mind, and intellect. So, whenever I want to do anything, this message is passed on to the intellect, which in turn will affect the mind, which in turn will bring about the desired action in the body through the relevant motor organs. If I want to see what is happening outside, I instruct the intellect, which then passes the instruction to the mind, which in turn orders the eyes to open. And when the eyes open, the light of my own awareness goes through the eyes, and then I see all the colours present out there. And the same is true for functioning of all other sense or motor organs. It is the intellect that decides which motor organ it wants to use. When the mind is agitated, who perceives this disturbed state of mind? It is I who has perceived this through the medium of the intellect. An insane person is unable to be aware of his mental state, as his intellect is not functioning optimally. Just like a person with ocular weaknesses needs spectacles to see objects, similarly, one needs the intellect to perceive the state of one's mind. Once a man went to see an eye specialist to get reading glasses. The doctor tested out various lenses, but the man still couldn't read the chart. Finally, the doctor got frustrated and said, "I have given you the strongest lens. How come you still can't read?" It so happened that the poor fellow was illiterate and had gone to the doctor under the ludicrous assumption that the doctor could give him a reading glass, i.e., a spectacle that could make him read. So we need our intellect for comprehending everything. When the stream of thoughts starts to reduce whilst meditating, it is the intellect that perceives this. When complete thoughtlessness occurs, there is no mind, no intellect there at that moment. Hence, there is no one there to register this state of thoughtlessness. It entails that when one can express the occurrence of the state of thoughtlessness only as a past event, i.e., when the mind and intellect regain their ability to cognize after emerging from the deep state of meditation. So the statement one can make is, "I was thoughtless." It cannot be, "I am thoughtless." Thoughtlessness is a state that can be expressed but not communicated. There is no one left at that moment who can communicate. Mind is thoughts. Presence of even a single thought equates to the presence of the mind. The sages say, be in a state of no mind, where the mind has been killed, in a manner of speaking. And when there is no mind, who will be left to say there is no mind? When one is in a state of deep sleep, can such person say at that very moment that he or she is in deep sleep? In that state of deep sleep, the mind and intellect are also in a state of unconsciousness and cannot register it. A dead person cannot proclaim that he or she is dead. It is antithetical. Let's say someone goes to pay his last respect to an acquaintance who has died. On his way, the man is thinking, "Just as well the fellow died. I owed him 50,000 rupees, and now that he is dead, I don't have to pay him back." When he enters the room and bends down to touch the dead body's feet, the dead body says, "Hope you've brought my 50,000 rupees. Is that possible?" Either the man is not dead, it is his ghost speaking. One can say, "I will die," but a living person cannot say, "I am dead." It is an oxymoron. The statement, "I am thoughtless," is equally contradictory. But for a seeker, it is possible to get a fleeting glimpse of the state of thoughtlessness. Very fleeting, just like a momentary flash of lightning on a dark night. For a fleeting moment, everything stops. Stillness occurs. This is an invaluable experience, as it reassures one that the day is not far when these moments will get stretched. Their duration will increase, but this requires persistent, diligent practice of meditation on a regular basis. When one is learning to ride a bicycle and the cycle starts moving after initial pedaling, and then one decides to stop pedaling, what will happen? But naturally, the speed of the cycle will reduce and it will eventually stop. Likewise, if one were to start the practice of meditation and then after experiencing some blissful moments, if one were to become inconsistent with the practice, then what can you expect to happen? Actually, there is no alternative to persistent, consistent, and diligent practice. The deceitful mind conjures up innumerable excuses to stop the practice. Hence, one has to be extra vigilant and not fall prey to the deceptive mind games. This narrative is from Buddha's life. Once Buddha and his disciple Ananda were walking towards the village. They met a traveller on the way, and on asking the whereabouts of the village, the man replied that the village was just 2 miles away. Reassured, Buddha and Ananda kept walking. Let alone 2 miles, they had covered more than 4 miles. But there was still no sight of the village. On the way, they met another man, who, on asking, said that they were nearing the village, which was no more than 2 miles away. Ananda was already angry that the earlier fellow had said 2 miles, and after walking for more than 4 miles, this person was saying the same. Evening had befallen, and there was no sight of the village. They saw a farmer, and on asking yet again, he said it was just 2 miles away. Ananda was infuriated, but nevertheless he communicated that piece of information to Buddha, and they kept on walking. After having walked for around 20 miles, to their relief, they finally arrived at the village. Ananda explicitly told Buddha, "The people we met were absolutely cruel and liars, having misguided us like this. The village was 20 miles away, and yet each of them said it was 2 miles away." Buddha replied, "Ananda, in fact, those people were full of compassion. Had they told us the truth, we probably would have decided to stay back and be forced to spend the night in the forest. It was indeed their compassion that gave us the forbearance and strength which enabled us to complete our journey and reach our destination. Likewise, no matter how far is the destination of thoughtlessness, awareness, these glimpses, albeit fleeting, will strengthen your resolve and motivate you to keep up your practice with perseverance, patience, and fortitude. The first glimpse of thoughtlessness, awareness, is but a grace of the ever-merciful Lord. This will make you want to intensify your efforts and strengthen your desire for inner ascent. Keep singing the notes of divine, O mind. Destination lies far ahead, and you are still behind. Do not take it easy, do not rest and jest, as destination is far away, so keep up the quest. Do not lose the way, do not sleep, because it is time to delve deep. It is required of the seeker that he continues with his quest to self-discovery. He should not let go of awareness, even for a single moment. No matter how far the destination of truth may be, the seeker is required to continue with his spiritual discipline. He should continue with his practice day in and day out. However far may be the destination of the thoughtlessness, but whatever glimpses one gets of it in meditation, that glimpse should be enough to fuel the fire of dedication and motivation. Hold on to them and continue with greater will and determination. The glory of the state of thoughtlessness, awareness, is indisputably the pinnacle. Nevertheless, it is no mean achievement to be in a state where thoughts are there, but their cascade is reduced, and there is a sense of stillness in the mind despite the presence of the thoughts. The thoughts don't bother you. They are no longer an obstacle, no longer a hindrance to your spiritual upliftment. If thoughts were regarded as being an impediment, that would indeed be a very difficult issue for the seeker, and also for the master guiding him, as without thoughts they are a handicap. After all, no matter even if one has attained the state of thoughtlessness, awareness, but when that person emerges from that state, he or she will have to use his or her mind for day-to-day functioning, and thoughts will then be inevitable. A state of having thoughts and being thoughtless appears contradictory in ordinary people. However, an enlightened one at the core of being is in a state of thoughtless awareness, but yet, whilst interacting with the external world, he or she uses the faculty of mind, and at that level, thoughts are inevitable for carrying out the activities. This can be compared to a person who has immersed himself up to the waist in a body of very cold water at noon time, when the sun is blazing on his head. His lower body will be feeling intense cold, whereas the upper body parts will perceive intense heat. Seemingly contrasting experiences happen at the same time. It is difficult for ordinary people to comprehend the coexistence of thoughts and thoughtlessness, but the enlightened one is stilled inside, although externally he carries on with all activities. Mystic Ravidas says, "One droplet of love has quenched my thirst of many lives." That whether I walk or talk, it is only awareness that resides. In me, thy name reverberates. It is your song that heart sings. Whether I walk or talk, it is your remembrance that dwells. Such is the power of your love, that I am always in thy remembrance. I humbly request, do not ever let go of me. Your lotus feet are imprinted on my heart. I always long for thy lotus feet. Ravidas says just one glimpse of my own true self has erased the identity of my mind. Just one glimpse of awareness has cut through my mind. Now, whether I walk or talk or carry out any of the worldly activities, they have no effect whatsoever on my tranquility. Any amount of karma does not affect me anymore. Even while doing everything, I am not the doer. I hold no burden of doing anything at all. Such is my inner state, such is the stillness within, that no worldly gestures can shake it. I am one with the ultimate truth. It has taken over me. This remembrance is the essence of all, and in this essence I reside. Thus, whatever is thrown at me, I happily abide. I am all quiet within. There's no money, there's no more my mind takes any flight. So I think we'll stop the chapter there. It seems to be a long chapter today. So yeah, we're on page 115. We'll carry on with this next week if that's okay. Okay, so let's go on to our meditation now. Kindly sit upright with your back straight. Cross your feet. Clasp your fingers into fingers. Remove any glasses. Gently close your eyes. And we'll take 3 nice deep breaths. And then we'll start the meditation. So take a nice deep breath. Feel your stomach expand. Hold. And out through your mouth. And again, a nice deep breath in. Hold. And out through the mouth. And again, a nice deep breath in. Hold. And gently out through your mouth. Now, as we focus on every single breath that we're taking in and out, gently feel yourself being here in the present moment. Do not let your thoughts go to the past or the future. Just be in the here and now. Make your body feel totally relaxed and calm. Take your focus onto your feet, your toes. Make sure they're totally relaxed. And then your feet, feel your feet. Make sure there's no tension. Feel them totally relaxed. And as we work up towards our body, we'll work through all the different parts. Gently focus on your calf muscles. feel them light and no pain whatsoever, totally light. And your knees are supple, your thighs are totally relaxed, your hip area is totally relaxed. And as we work up, let's think of all our organs working day in, day out, helping us function. Our kidneys, helping to flush out all the toxins and everything that's not needed. Our pancreas, our stomach, which does a sterling job of everything we feed the stomach, takes out the nutrients and gives that to every single cell in the body, and then everything else is flushed out through our intestine, the big intestine, the small intestine. Our liver, our heart, working constantly, pumping away. All our organs, our lungs, are working like magic. God has given us such a beautiful body, such a beautiful instrument that works so independently. So feel your heart totally relaxed, your lungs relaxed, your esophagus. All your organs are in total symphony, in tune, as if like an orchestra, all working in good timing as they should be doing. Your shoulders are nice and down, totally relaxed. No heaviness, just feeling light and relaxed. Your arms, elbows, forearms, fingers, totally relaxed. Your neck, front and back, super chilled. Your backbone is at ease, totally relaxed. And your face muscles, totally relaxed. Your eyes, nose, mouth, ears, your whole brain, all the neurons, all the nerves, working just like the clock ticking away, doing everything right at the right second. Your whole body is totally relaxed. And as you feel so relaxed, you can focus on your incoming breath and every outgoing breath. And just be mindful. Any thoughts that come and go, accept them, but don't actually focus on them, just see them as passing clouds. Eventually, one day, we too will reach that thoughtlessness state, just like all the divine masters have, and Lord Buddha has. One day, we too will become in that state. So feel totally at peace, totally at ease. Now let's focus ourselves as the light that we are, situated between the eyebrows, full of sparkling, beautiful, radiant light. Now gently take yourselves out of the fully functioning body that's working like clockwork. Take yourself out of this body. Feel free as a light, as a beautiful star. come out, leave your home, leave your neighborhood, and as you fly high and high, we've come to the seaside, where the beautiful ocean is calling us. But as we go there, we're now going to experience what it feels like to be a beautiful, beautiful stone or a pebble. So see yourselves as the light, but in the shape of a pebble on the beautiful, glistening, bright sand that's warm and welcoming. And as you sit yourself down with all the other pebbles, just feel how connected you are. How connected you are to all the other pebbles, all the beautiful grains of sand, the sound of the splashing ocean coming in and out as the tide. And you feel comfortable and reassured that you're one, you're part of the mineral kingdom. And you're super, super blessed to be on Mother Earth. You're connected to Mother Earth. But you're super, super strong because you're a stone. God has given us so, so much power of the intellect that we too can become very strong if we've got the determination and willpower to follow his guidance. And as you sat there as a stone, connect with all the other stones around you. Feel as though they're calling out to you with their hands, and you're all holding hands together. And by holding hands, your energy is increasing. Your energy and your aura is actually doubling, tripling, because you're united. You're one with all the other pebbles and stones. What a beautiful feeling this is. We're unified and one with nature, with different pebbles that are just like us. And as you feel united, you feel total, total peace and calm. And as you're sat there, you now feel that you want to actually go for a swim, see what it's like to bob up and down on the ocean as the waves coming in and out. But you're not scared as a stone. You don't think, oh, if the ocean takes me, I'll sink to the bottom of the seabed. No, you feel totally relaxed, totally confident that the Almighty is looking out for you and you will be protected. So you take that step, and the next time the ocean comes, you get nearer and nearer. And as the ocean waves come up to sweep you up, you're thinking, okay, so I'm either going to sink or I'm going to swim. Whatever God wants, that will happen. But we've got full faith that we're not going to sink. We have that determination that we're not going to sink, we're going to be floating in the ocean. So as the waves come nearer and nearer, you get swept up as a stone. And lo and behold, you are floating and you're happy, you're laughing. You're so, so, so happy and rejoicing that God has lifted you up with the drops of the ocean and is carrying you in the beautiful sea. You feel special. You feel like the special pebbles and rocks that had the word Aram written on it that helped build the bridge. You are also that divine energy. That divine Ram resides within you. And the ocean is carrying you as if you're a little baby and rocking you to and fro. And you're not sinking to the seabed. No, you're going with the flow. You're going with the tide. You're feeling one with Mother Earth and the ocean. You feel the beautiful rays of the sunshine warming you up, as if caressing you and giving you a big hug. and you're enjoying this beautiful, beautiful experience of being one with the ocean. And you are not sinking. That faith, that confidence, that trust that in you, that spark, has kept you the way you are, and you've not sunk. What a beautiful, beautiful feeling this is. And as you're swaying in the ocean, as the tide comes in and out, you are totally, totally one with the ocean. At total, total peace. And as you lay there in the ocean with the waves swaying, you're saying, thank you, thank you, thank you to the beautiful ocean for carrying you, to the Almighty for giving you the strength to believe in you, for taking all your problems away, all your worries away, and making you feel light as a feather, and for carrying you throughout this whole world, this cosmos. Deep, deep gratitude to our parents for instilling the good virtues and the confidence and the love to make us who we are today. To our ancestors for teaching us and loving us and helping us and shaping us the way we are today. To each and every single teacher, each and every single guru of ours who's held our hand and shaped us and given us the knowledge to become who we are today. Deep, deep gratitude to everyone who's been in your life, who's removed the darkness and shown you the right path. Deep, deep gratitude to our family and friends for supporting us and helping us on our soul path. Deep, deep gratitude to Mother Nature, to the 5 elements, to the mineral kingdom, plant kingdom, animal kingdom, to the whole cosmos, to the whole planets, to the Supreme Divine Almighty residing in you and me and all living beings. Deep, deep gratitude for helping us unify with one another and to see the same light and love within each of us. Deep, deep gratitude to everything in our lives and everyone in our lives that's helping us, shaping us towards our goals and our soul purpose. Deep, deep gratitude to our amazing bodies that are helping us function and be in a state of meditation throughout the day, not just whilst we're sat in meditation, but throughout the day. Deep, deep gratitude to Babaji, Guru Ma, and Lord Buddha for all his amazing teachings that are applicable to us even now. Deep, deep gratitude to all the divine masters, all the divine energies, all the angels, everyone who's looking out for us and helping us, protecting us, and feeling light and having the same energy as the divine being. Deep, deep gratitude to everyone and everything in our lives. Now that we've felt what it's like to be a beautiful pebble, shining pebble in a stone, gradually feel as though you're coming out of the ocean. And from being this beautiful stone, you're now the same light that was there that reached the seabed, the seaside. See yourselves as a bright light, twinkling star, coming back up to the sky, waving goodbye for the wonderful experience the ocean has given us, and come back to your neighbourhood, into your house, into your beautiful body, and feel one with your body once again, feeling totally, totally relaxed, calm, and energized. Deep, deep gratitude. Gently rub your fingers, place them on your beautiful eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently open your eyes in your hands and feel the divine energy, divine light seeping into your eyes and your whole being. And feel that energy and light all over your beautiful face, head, ears, neck, shoulders, arms, lower arms, hands, upper body, stomach, thighs, knees, legs, feet. And feel totally, totally relaxed. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Babaji, Lord Buddha, Guru Ma, all the divine masters, and thank you to you all for kindly joining with us today. Deep, deep gratitude.
Thank you, Meenaji. Deep, deep gratitude to you also. Every day something new we learn, and today's chapter is about meditation, and on the same time, the story you shared about the person about the money was very funny. That he passed away,
That's
but the yes, it shows that sometimes uh, our mind think that no one watches me. So like that person was so clever that he was like he passed away, so I don't have to give the money to that person. But we these are the things where the teacher is explaining things so nicely, how we have to behave in a certain way, and with the meditation how our life, our thinking change, it how deeply we can remove the things from inside. And the first line you said, first or second line, that three type of meditation, right? Because I also personally believe that a true devotee is full of answers, not full of questions, because questions means you yourself is in a doubt. You're not in thoughtless state, and there is that confusing state where the another one is where that person is not asking question because that person is either afraid, or either this, sometimes the people are against God and all those energies, they won't believe in this. So
mm,
whatever you will say, they won't go with it. But now everything is scientifically proved. We don't have to prove anything to anyone, but
mm,
scientifically everything is proved now, and it every thing we are reading right now is in an ancient scripture already
mm,
mentioned there. And a devotee is like, we feel energy. So how can I deny it?
mm,
Even how our journey start in mother's womb. If we go back, how our journey start with in our my mother's womb, from a very tiny one to a full baby. Those 9 months
mm,
transformation, it
mm,
means, how can we deny that? Right? And the baby
mm,
is how beautiful it is that the baby
mm,
is listening to the mother. What mother is eating, the baby is receiving the same food. I will share one very funny thing. It is, when I gave birth to my elder son, bread, and he forced me to have it, and he put some nuts in that, right? I had that, but I was like, my body was very weak because it was cesarean. And what happened was, that time my son was, I think, around 2 months old, right? When he did his poo, means it seems like funny, but all the dry nuts were there, and my no one was listening to me in the home. And I told them, look, he is just having the milk. I didn't feed him this food what I had. And for me, it is very shocking. How come it comes like this? And then some elderly lady was there. She said, when he was in your tummy, you were eating, he was receiving. Then how means, how can you deny this? And means how God created all these things. We means there are so many things where when you see those things, you become speechless. Then you don't have anything to ask, right? How means the baby hands, feet, everything, inside mother's womb, how beautiful it is. Even when baby start moving, we feel it, right? Every single thing we feel, baby's heartbeat, everything, movement we feel. uh, how beautiful it is. So if we all been through that experience, how can we deny that there is no energy? And how can we
mm,
will still against it, asking so many questions? And once you know, then you were like, like sometime you tasted some very good dish, you want everyone to try it. You will say, oh, so and so restaurant is very good, please go there and check their menu. And then other people will say, oh yeah, thank you, you recommended that to us. Is the same with the person who is in surrender. It is not they are running from the things, they're accepting the things, that
mm,
everything happens for a reason. And we know that like that person said that I did the sin because God want me to do it. With Anglimal we have that example. When you have that awareness that what you were doing was wrong, that time you change your life, right?
mm,
Like Anglimal did. But if he was still in the denial after meeting Lord Buddha, he was doing the same thing. It means he is still in ignorance, and he is not even aware of his own strength, right?
mm,
So many time in your means life, if you see, there are certain situation where it was kind of impossible for getting any kind of outcome, but miracles happen suddenly. How happen? It happened because of your faith. Because my life is full of miracles. I experience so much miracles in my osters. Oh my God, so many time I don't have the travel money in my card. I know about it, but my instinct, my inner voice was saying me, go and touch it, you have money. And when I was touching, even my friends who were with me, they were so shocked. They said, God pay for you. God have to pay for me because I have a blind faith in God. So everything works when you have that trust. But first you have to be in a situation of surrender,
mm,
that yes, these things happen, and I'm full of answers, I'm not full of questions.
mm.
Thank you so much.
Deep, deep gratitude.
Gratitude to you also. Thank you.
Thank you,
you know
everyone.
it seems like a book to means given by Anand Ma to all of us to decode ourselves again.
It's amazing,
So
isn't it? Just
yeah.
how to get to that thoughtlessness state. And the fact that when you do get to that state, you won't even know that you're in that thoughtlessness state because your intellect won't be working at the time. It'll only be in the future that you'll know you've reached that state.
Actually, until and unless we are in that situation where we make the final choice, we are still in the limbo state, like in Mahabharat, when Arjun gave up, that he don't want to go against his family members, he don't
Mm,
want to fight. Then Lord Krishna said, you are not doing the right thing. You need to stand up for yourself. It's the same way with our life. Since from our childhood till now, whatever the things we are doing, we observed it, and it is we coded it everything here, and we start behaving in the same way, which is not our authentic way. Where we were not born with any label or name,
mm,
right? But how the society affects you. But the moment you reconnect with yourself, You forget about other things, then you start making yourself priority, then you have healthy boundaries with yourself and with others. The best thing is you start being kind to your own self. We are not kind to ourselves, we are very kind to other people. We are showing way too much love to other people. How many time I say I love you to myself? How many time I say, okay, today is my day, right? If someone call you right now, you are available all the time, available for others. Are you available for your own self? That is self realization. And once you have that realization, you connect yourself with meditation, with complete surrender, then you enjoy your own company. You won't feel you're empty, you're not depending on others, and you are not feeling that you can't make your own choices. Now you're in a complete surrender and full of answers. Before you were like blaming yourself, getting angry on everyone. Now slowly you become calm from inside. Nothing affects you the way it was affecting you before. And this is the beauty of all these saints teaching us in a very uplifting way.
Being a witness, and being a witness, and not needing to run around and go anywhere, chase anybody. No need to go running after temples, people. It's almost like the answers are within. You just need to speak and connect to your higher self, as we learnt with Babaji's Unified book.
If here you don't have that peace at home, yeah, wherever you go in the world, you will have that peace just temporary for few seconds or few minutes, right? Because you didn't created it within you. But the moment you created it within you, you will be okay with every single thing. Like my son, my kids, they laugh on me. How you are so patient. You won't get angry. You are not getting frustrated. Because they are both are teenagers. I said, You are teenagers, that's why you get frustrated very quickly." But I said, for me, I'm okay. They say, no, whatever people do, you just accept it. I said, because I'm not bothered about anything, because they are not enlightened. They won't think that way. They think that dhyana meditation is for elderly people. And why in such a young age you are in this? They call me Baba. I'm not Baba. But the thing is, now I am aware of it. But once you taste this, then you will like to do this, the same things like us. But it's divine's plan. Divine wants all of us to choose our path, be very carefully. And deep gratitude to all these Zoom session providers giving us opportunity to have these type of sessions where we are learning from each other. And deep gratitude to you for using your magical voice.
Bless you. Deep gratitude to you,
Meditation
Monica.
was so beautiful. Meditation was so nice. In between, my son called me. He is outside just to let me know that he is late. And because of that, means for 2 minutes I was out of the track. But immediately when I joined, you were talking about the in the pool, right? Thing, and I was literally feeling the same and enjoying a lot. So deep gratitude for the meditation also. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me. Deep gratitude, sharing your energies too. Does anybody else want to say anything? Okay, let's stop the recording there. Okay.
So just wind up and just then we can do like Indiji is saying thank you to you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we'll meet again next week. Have a lovely weekend, everybody.
You too. Thank you.
Deep gratitude. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.